Hey, you guys. Happy Monday. I hope everybody's doing good. I just needed to check my group real quick to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So I was just want to make sure that wherever yeah, you can. Okay, great. So if you catch this on a replay, which a lot of you might, that's no problem. Make sure you just hashtag replay viewer to ask your questions, to let me know where you're hanging out from. Like, are you from Atlanta? Are you in Georgia? Are you in, Texas? Are you in the U.S.? Are you in the Bahamas? Where are you? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what your actual profession is. So, what's your expertise? And just a few housekeeping things. Again, I am Denisha Samuels. And welcome to 31 Days of Branding. So, all October, I'll be talking about tips, tricks, strategies on how to make sure you're building a profitable brand. If you want to know how to actually execute those things, or you want to hang in an environment that gets you in that mode and in that mood, make sure you hang out with us in the Pivot to Profit Collective. Just type Pivot to Profit Collective in your Facebook little search bar, and you'll find us, and I'll let you in the group. But I am Denisha Samuels, business strategist, and I teach them professionals how to create profitable online brands and businesses by monetizing their skill sets, right? So that's what I love to do, helping working professionals balance the two things out. And so for tonight, we're going to talk about some skill sets that everybody needs in order to build a profitable online branded business. So if you want to create a brand that actually pays bills, or actually pays off some debt, or actually gets you one step closer to quote unquote leaving your job, or actually gets you to financial freedom, or all these other promises that online brands and businesses do for you, then you want to stay tuned and hear the skill sets that are actually needed. Make sure I go to these comments, y'all. Okay, so and yeah, I would love to know what skill sets you think it is first, though. So if you catch this on the replay, even like don't cheat, just put it in the comments and let me know what skill sets you think you actually need in order to build a profitable online brand or business, and really any business. And then for my workers, I might even show you how you correlate this to your actual career as well. But just let me know. See some hearts. I see some love out there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Somebody said I wanted the things. Sales. Sales is a good one. Sales is a good one. But let's get into it because it is Monday. I know you guys had a, long Monday. All right. So number one, sales. Somebody said it. You have to learn to close the deal. Now, I started with this one, sales, because it's my number one nemesis. Let me not be like that. It's not my number one nemesis, but it is a lot of people's number one nemesis, and that's sales. So you have different levels of sales. So let's break that down. You have to like sell yourself, right? So whether you like work in corporate, or you are an entrepreneur, or a little bit of both, or you're a solopreneur, selling yourself is one of the critical things to building a profitable online brand and business. People have to know, like, and trust you, right? So they know, they like you, they trust you. No problems there. You know me, you like me, you trust me to give you the information, the coaching, the strategy, the consultations. Okay. However, you as an entrepreneur must learn how to close the deal, right? So you have to actually have the right product and the right offer in front of the right people at the right time, right? And so when I started this online journey, it took me a while to understand that some of the coaches and consultants that I liked, they were just great at sales, right? That their actual coaching program was okay. I don't have any bad coaches, but their coaching program might have not been a fit for me at that time. But they were great at sales. They were great at closing the deals. They were great at, once they got me on the phone, giving me the stories, giving me the marketing, so that I was like, oh yeah, this has to be perfect for me. So, and I, one of those people who shied away from that. Like, people want it, they'll just click the button, right? I shouldn't have to, but there are ways to, I guess, what do you want to call it? Subliminally make sure people are clicking buttons, putting the right information at the right time in the right place with the right methodology in front of people. But ultimately, getting on the phone, or getting on the lives, or getting in your group and selling is important. Because if money does not exchange, if sales do not happen, then money is not made. So at the end of the day, no matter if you are a librarian, or selling books, or you're or boutique, or you are an agile coach, or you're a scrum master, or you're a consultant, or you're it doesn't matter, right? Sales is the name of the game. So whether you're selling yourself personally, or you're selling a service, or you're selling a product, you must learn how to close the deal. You must know how to package yourself up and give it out, right? And so this is one of the things that, in my group, it's a journey that we all go on. You're not like born a salesperson. Everybody doesn't know how to naturally brag on themselves without sounding braggish. Everybody doesn't know how to tell compelling stories. When I used to get on lives all the time, like my first live, and even in Facebook, I'll give you that example. Even in Facebook, how they sell you on live. So your first live that you do, they'll make sure that everybody sees it in the algorithm, and there's like, 100 or some plus people watching you, right? And then, because they're selling you live at that point, right? They're giving you the And then the second live, you might be like, oh, it wasn't as many people, but whatever. And by your third or fourth or fifth live, you realize you're in the algorithm, and now you need to actually make adjustments, and now you need to actually learn what's going on, right? So that's how it was for me. Like, okay, I just go live and then people will buy my products. No. Right. So then, so then I go back to what I know best, and I started to read, right? Read books. Everything you need to know is in a book. So for sales, two things that I would recommend, just a mindset type of book is The Greatest Salesman in the World. And so just to get yourself in a mindset, it's not actually real strategy in there. It's more so like just a book to help you get in the mindset of strategy, or just understanding that strategy, it's always being sold in different ways, right? That our sales is always being done in different ways, and you just have to find your natural way of selling yourself. But I do know that being an expert, being an authority, helps along the way tremendously. If people already feel you're an expert, then it's easier to do the sale, right? If you have the right audience that you're talking to, it's easier to do the sale. If so just know that part. Now, also about sales, the reason, and the 4 skills that I'm going to go over, because there's only 4. Yeah, 4. I'm just looking at my notes. There's only 4 skills I'm going to go over. Now, the reason that I always tell you to become an expert and then an entrepreneur is because you have to already master your craft. Excuse me. Sorry. Dust. You have to already master your craft in order to actually come out here in the online world, because if you try to learn your craft and these 4 skills at the same time, you'll become overwhelmed, right? So you have to know what you want to be an expert at, and then you come over and learn these skills, because when you learn them at the same time, you can get, like I said, overwhelmed, or you don't know what's going on. So once you are an expert and you're really confident at what you do, now it's time to come learn these skills. And skill number 1 that I just went over was sales, right? All right, so skill number 2 is social media. So you have LinkedIn, you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have classic Facebook, you have TikTok, you have Snapchat, you have Periscope, you have Twitter, Stitcher, that one, the gamers, you and DJs. You have YouTube, you have, and I would even put podcasts in this realm. You have all these different platforms, and you're going to have to create a skill where you master at least 2 of them. Now, I always tell you that you need to master a short form and a long form. And what I mean by that is you have to master something that is your short forms, or let me talk about the long form first. Your long forms are like your YouTubes, your podcasts, your blog. So this is where I teach in my group all the time that your thought leadership will live in one of those 3 places, or multiple, either one of the 3, at least one of the 3, right? So that's your long form. It's where you really can show out and show what you know and really give the details. I would even say, maybe live form would even be a way, but these could just be YouTube videos. So that's why I just say video/YouTube. So just making sure that you have one of those 3 long forms where you're actually able to show your expertise, really give your opinions, your professional thoughts on your industries, all that kind of good stuff, right? And now you need a mode to push that out on. So whether that's a Facebook group, Facebook itself, Instagram, Twitter, that short form where, it's quick, fast, and more of the masses. So you need these two things to work in tangent with each other in order to actually gain traction in the world. So you need to master social media, and then you need to understand for what you're selling, whether that's a service, yourself, a product, where you need to be. So some examples of that is like, okay, you're just selling look, I'm just selling myself because you're just trying to get a job. All right, well then, you'll probably need to be on LinkedIn. Hey, my demographic is under 13. Hey, for the product that I sell, well, you might want to be on a Snapchat or TikTok. Hey, I'm very visual and my brand is visual because it's clothes, or I'm a photographer, or I'm an artist. Okay, so maybe Instagram is your thing. Hey, I'm really good at snappy thoughts and interesting quotes, and I'm really, quick at the tongue. All right, well, maybe Twitter is your jam. Also, where are your people at? If you're in IT, they might be on Instagram and Twitter. If you are, like I said, all the models, all the artists, all the very creative people hang out in Instagram land. So you just need to know where everybody is that you want to connect with. Where are they? And then master those platforms. So that's skill number 2 you need in order to actually, pay some bills if you actually have an online business. And if you have any issues or problems or trouble, or you need assistance, make sure you email me at hello@corporatehustleu. That's just the letter u.com. Or you can go to bit.ly/talk to Demetia, and just let me know. You can just, when you click on that talk to Demetia, you can schedule yourself a complimentary strategy session with yours truly, and we can decide if I can assist you in building a profitable online branded business. Because you never know, we might not vibe. You don't know. So we just got to find out. Quick call. Talking to the people, all right? But as always, if you just have general questions and you want to hang out and you want to learn more about me, then come over to the Pivot to Profit Collective Facebook group, all right? Number 3, communicating your personal brand message. Okay, so this one, my coach is actually a marketing strategist when it comes to messaging, right? So nailing down your message, your personal mantra, what you do, who you do it for, when you do it, is critical to communicating online, because it'll help you stay consistent across the platforms, consistent in your brand, consistent in your message, so that people know when to refer you, people know when to come to you, people know when to say, she'd be a great speaker at that. So I'm pretty consistent about the fact that I love to speak about LinkedIn, I love to speak about income, and I love to speak about building profitable online brands and businesses. And I believe in all of that through thought leadership and through personal branding and development, right? So those are kind of my pillars. But when it comes to my actual message, you'll hear me at the beginning say, hello, I'm Demetia Samuels, and I help STEM professionals build a profitable online branding business by monetizing their skill sets. So just having that message and knowing your message and being okay with your message is critical, right? So even though for me, it felt like, if I said STEM professionals, then nobody would want to talk to you if you weren't a STEM professional. But at the end of the day, that's a wide enough net and a niche enough net that you know exactly what I'm talking about. So my analyticals, those who think critically, those who are really like techie, those are my people. That's who I vibe with. You'll hear me, talk like that. I use words like agile and scrum and IT and products, things of that nature all the time. But communicating it is a different story. So willing to go live, willing to write a blog post, willing to write a post, willing to give your opinion. So being able to actually communicate your thoughts is a critical skill. I am not a great writer. Therefore, I use live streams to communicate my thoughts, because writing is not my jam. I'm just not what I love to do. So somebody instead can take my live stream and just repurpose it, write a blog from what I'm saying live. But that's what I had to learn, is that my best means of communicating is live stream. I'll still create my posts, but live stream is the best way that I can communicate with people, and also one-on-one. So being a speaker and teaching is how I like to communicate my brand and my brand philosophy, right? So let me know in the comments how you like to, communicate your brand and your brand philosophy, whether you're individual or not. And the last one is my favorite. I have a whole month dedicated to it. And that's networking. Let me see if I can get me a sponsorship. Okay, I'm just kidding. But it's networking. Networking. There are different levels of networking. In the month of November, I actually will have 21 days of networking where I pretty much give you my philosophy on networking and teaching and strategy, all about networking. Yesterday, I was on a conference, or Saturday, I did a conference, virtual conference, where I talked about how to build your brand by networking. But essentially, people have to know you, and you have to know people. They have to know you exist. They have to know your brand exists. They have to want to interact with you, engage with you, build, collaborate with you. So you have your potential clients that you're networking with, your colleagues that you're networking with, mentors that you're trying to network with, mentees that you're trying to network with, um, maybe sponsors. You have uh, brands, other brands, just various wide net of people that you have to network with. And there is a method to the madness. There's a strategy to the madness called networking. And now that we're in this digital age, there are online techniques you can use to help you be a better networker online, because you have the whole world as an oyster. It's all here waiting for you. So those are so networking is just a critical skill. And those who think that some people are natural networkers, um, and some people aren't. Some people hate it. They hate networking because they think it's just small talk, and that's all they think of when they think of networking, or some lame event that they have to be at, or just giving out business cards, or just even now just exchanging LinkedIn's or something. But it's way more to that. And like I said, all November we'll talk about it, but it is a skill you need. So just to recap, the skill that you need, even after you decide this is the business that I want, right? Yes, Stephanie, it really is. So the money making skills you need even after all of this is one, sales, right? You have to be selling something, whether it's yourself, whether it's a product, whether it's a service. And again, I'm going to give a few examples. When I say sell yourself, I could be talking about it from a career standpoint. So you're selling yourself at a job, or you're already at that job and you're trying to get a promotion. So you're selling yourself there. But also think about your lifestyle bloggers and all of that. They're selling their lifestyle to you. People who are just influencers, they're just selling you their regular selves, right? And they're profiting from it. So selling yourself is a thing. Um, yeah. And then number two, there's also selling a product. So you have a physical product that's actually for sale. So that could be your books, or your clothes boutiques, or your back in the day, your CDs, or whatever you're actually physically selling. Your software. You could be selling your let's see what else is physical. Software, your downloads, books, that type of stuff. Now you have your services. So you're actually selling your knowledge, your lawyers, your actual lawyers are the main ones I think of, consultants, your coaches, your strategists. I am selling my knowledge. So I'm a service provider. So I am in the third category, in which I sell actual knowledge. Okay. So you have those three. So you need to be selling something. All right. Now, the second one that we talked about was social media. You have your long form and your short form, and you need to master two of those in order to be profitable online. So master two, and we talked about what a long form and a short form were. So if you have any questions about which ones you should be on, come over into the Pivot to Profit Collective. Let me know what your industry is and what you do, and we'll see if we can help narrow that down. Or make sure you schedule a strategy call with me. They're complimentary by heading to bit.ly/talk to Demetia. All right. And you can always just email me, or you can DM me if that's where you like to do business for some reason. The next one is communicating your actual brand message. People have to know what you stand for, what you're about, what your actual message is, right? So you can think of some, and also for those, let me give you some corporate examples or some really big examples. When people say priceless, you think of like MasterCard. When people say I'm loving it, you think of McDonald's, right? But like that. So when you have a personal brand, you don't necessarily have a jingle. You could, but you always are known for something. As I stated earlier, business strategist. Therefore, I teach them professionals how to build profitable online brands and businesses by monetizing themselves. Right. So just having a statement, a personal statement, is really important. So craft that up so that you're out here being consistent. And the last one that I discussed was networking. Make sure you have a networking strategy, that you have a networking plan, and that you're actually executing it, and that you're not leaving your networking to chance. You need to make sure you're actively engaged in your networking, because you should not leave it to chance. You should not just be like, oh, if I happen to meet somebody, oh, that'd be great. That's not what we're doing here. So those are the 4 skills that I wanted to let you know that you need to master in order to actually pay the bills from an online business, right? And by paying the bills, I mean after your expenses are over and all of that kind of good stuff. These are the skills that are left that will help you get to the black. It's Q4, so you should be on your way in the black. This is the showtime season and all that kind of good stuff. So again, if you have any questions, if you catch this on the replay, make sure you tell me where you're from. Make sure you tell me what your profession is. And always come and hang out with me in the Pivot to Profit Collective. That's Pivot to Profit Collective. And yeah, so it's been great. And thank you for tuning in for this edition of Monetize Yourself Monday. All right, so I will talk to you all soon. And actually, I'll be online every day because it's 31 days of branding. So we'll be live every day for 31 days in some way, shape, or form. All right, so talk to you guys soon.